You probably saw her in what was that called? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or she was also uh, what was it in film with Jet Li, and she was Win Chun, um, and she was in Supercop with Jackie Chan. You know, after reading this book, Never Grow Up by Jackie Chan, I found out it's very interesting. He taught her kung fu. Um, I was like, wow, really? I thought she knew kung fu, and I thought she was Chinese, but she was born in Malaysia. She's a Malaysian actress, and she was popular for 1905 Hong Kong action films, and also she what was it called? Yo, that woman can fight, man. She has beauty, but she can fight. That's dangerous, man. Beauty and like freaking fighting, yo, that's epic. You're like, I mean, if you watch Super Cop, that I think that's for me. I think I favor Super Cop over, even though Jet Li was in it, right? No, not Jet Li wasn't in Super Cop. Jet Li was in Tai Chi or Shaolin, and Michelle Yeoh was in there. But I favor Super Cop because yo, Jackie Chan, what was it? What, what, did she fight with Jackie Chan? I can't remember. Damn, did she fight with Jackie? I don't remember. No. Ah, god damn it. And uh, so she was in an interview, and what I got out of it, everybody you think who's a celebrity, from Jackie Chan to Jet Li, or anybody who you look up to, you think that you look them in awe, right? You think that somehow these guys are special. Yeah, they're special because they did something with their talent and they took action on them, of course. But for me, it's not the cures that they. Every time I go deeper into people who I want to like learn about, like this book, give more insight of who actually is Jackie Chan, and all these guys are just failures. And people are like, that's ridiculous. How are they a failure? They're superstars. They're Yeah, but you don't see that. That's the thing that most people don't see, the failures that they try to attempt. And I don't know if she have any failures. She probably does. Because the media like to portray, or for example, videos and uh, Twitters and Instagram and Facebook are all medium to which people marketed their products and services and movies, whatever. But you don't often hear people have failures, right? And you try to find it. I can't. I try to find the guy who created Yu-Gi-Oh, the card game, Katsuki Takahashi or something. I can't find his failure. Everybody want to know, where they were born and the birthdays, and I get that. But I want to know how they went through the journey of being successful. Aren't you curious? Like, aren't you curious about how people went to? Every time anyway, that's just me. She was born in 6 August 1962. An interviewer asked her at the end, "You will always see her as an Asian woman." And I'll tell you what she mean by this. The most important thing is to be able to get past that. Otherwise, I will always be stuck in movies in roles only written for Asian women. Now, uh, usually people who are into, who are born Asian, they will always be attracted to like Asian because that's their all they know, unless they branch out and they uh, either they were born in diversity like America. Like if you were born in America, a lot of diversity, black, white, Hispanic, uh, all type of race, right? That you see. And so she don't want to be stuck in the role forever being, as an Asian. She's an Asian woman, of course, you can see that on stage, but she want to expand. My message is like, I don't want to always, what was it? It's like most Indian people will get mad at me for saying this, but it's like they live in the traditional way of thinking that they should marry their own, So, but it broke my heart that why can't you choose the one that you love? Why can't you choose? It's like Asian men getting mad at Asian women for dating other races. Because I found out that most Asian men, they assume that they get mad over Asian women dating white guys, or whatever, or any other race, but they assume. And I found out is, I talked to a lot of Asian women while I was doing cashier stuff. That is not true. It's not that they tend to marry Caucasian or white. Is that they fall in love, right? It's because most Asian men get it all wrong. And I was reading and researching a lot of Asian stuff, and it's like Asian women get mad at Asian men for dating other races. And it used to be my friend mentality that he get mad over uh, Asian women dating other races. I didn't really care because we're in America. Why should we care if our own races? Until over time, um, I did it, Asian, right? But meaning that, for instance, if we only know our own culture, we don't branch out. It's like me only learning my culture of Vietnamese, but I don't know any other thing out there. I told this Chinese lady that the Chinese people influence influence. The Chinese had a lot of influence over a lot of Asian countries. I think food, languages, martial arts styles, and they branch out because we all like all these ideas combined. It's like you learning a subject and you want to dive deep into this one subject. But what if you branch out and study other subjects that connect with that subject? Because in life, it's like perception, right? If you only know, if you only know that thing that you live in your whole life, right? You only know turn something, but you never branch out. You don't know what it's like, right? Um, it's like if I did it, if I, well, actually, I only did it. All right, it's like if I live in America, and it's kind of sad to me. Most Asian kids these days are when they grow up in America, they only geared toward. It made me sad. I hope that these kids understand that whether they want to learn their own language or uh, their own culture, their culture is beautiful. Like I get it, you live in other country or live in America, but you should, that's why I love Jackie Chan. He always prefer that you should treasure your history, your who you are as a human being, your origin, right? And it made me sad that I see it. Like I try to talk to a kid who was Vietnamese, and his mom told me to speak Vietnamese to him, and he probably didn't understand what I was saying, and it was sad. And to let your culture down like that, that's not great. I don't know. It's a gift. It's a gift to be able to understand languages that most don't see it as value, right? You can always talk about English. English is great. Most of the world speak English. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah. Anyway, Jackie Chan, see her as a sister. it's hard. It's not easy when you believe how you work around the system. It's hard. It's not easy when you believe in what you're doing and you have great passion and love for you love for your work. You keep fighting the battle. Now, I believe passion. People get it wrong. I don't think that you get passion or you you. I believe passion created you, right? Passion was because let's say out of nowhere you wanted to learn this new thing because it's new and it's shiny, it's fascinating, right? Um, Long time ago, I used to play around with Bali Song and Zippo, right? I watch all the YouTube videos of Zippos and all that in Bella Song. But because I went through that, the passion created me, and that was sparking an interest. It's fascinating. Now, most people would get it wrong. It's because you go through it. It's your passion. It is not because the passion. It's like, let's say you never done it before, but after you've done it, you like it. You wanted to create it more. So that's the passion come because you took action on that thing that you wanted. It through failure, even you suffer failure and stuff like that, you still go through it. That's why many artists they love it because that's how they express through their art, right? Like when they draw, that's how they express themselves. When people do martial arts with their body mechanic is how they express themselves, whether public speaking or people who do um, writing books and stuff like that is how they express themselves. It's a form of an art. I believe passion is nothing but merely to express oneself, right? I think so. It's like it's like for me, I never you wouldn't per se call reading a book is my passion, right? I never was like an avid, like very voracious reader, but over time you build that momentum and that spark within you. You like, hey, I like this and I want more of this because novelties and ideas that bounce around your head create this whole connection that you never thought you had before. That's why in the perspective is this in life you want to take, like I always hear you gotta like taste a lot of things. It's like my manager, I always use this as an analogy. My manager who I used to work for, he always say, how you know if you don't taste like different type? You gotta try different tastes of bubble tea if you don't know what bubble tea is. I try a lot of bubble tea. I remember I was in the restaurant. I only love mango bubble tea. And then I drink bubble tea. I try every version of bubble tea from honeydew to toro to um, whatever that. I like all of them because I test all of them. But if I didn't know that, if I didn't try that, then I would be closed-minded, if you will. It's like if you only read certain book, you're closed-minded, right? Um, that's why I try to space out what I read, even though I could become. I want to be able to connect ideas and my understanding of me more, to open my mind to be able to engage with it. Because the more raw material that you have in your mind, it can help you um, with either to communicate. Uh, Even though if you fail, that's fine. Communicate how you see the world. Because let's say you don't have enough raw material in your mind, or um, you can't. Your mind isn't open enough to see the world. Right now, most people, for example, people who have, because I disagree with my friend that in this world I want to try to make this world a better place to live because this is the only place we ever have to live, right? And it is the right thing to do. I mean, and since I have all this knowledge, I gotta give this back to people. Now, the the way that we interact with our environment or people is the raw material that we have built back from the past experience, from what we learned from your parents, teachers, and your peers and your friends. Mind you, your friends has the most influential. Not only your family, but your friends has more influence than what you do, what you see, and what you hear about the world. So when my friend said the world can't change, people can't change, and that's life. No, that's because mm, people don't have a lot of raw materials. The different experience of belief that it can happen. That's why you see great people who I keep diving deep. They learn from different aspects of the world, from martial artists, from Ron Balicki to Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver, from Daniel Lee, but they have wrong. That not only they. That's why Bruce Lee was so successful. Most people think Bruce Lee was successful for his um, martial arts skills, right? He is, but because Bruce Lee he was so eclectic that he gathered a large pool of knowledge, and to build that, he have material built because he was able to learn, and he knew that he don't know what he don't know. That's why most people are ignorant of this world because they only know what they know. And I'm myself are uh, limited by my ideas. So I must expand that pool by gathering a large pool of not just only experiences. Experience is great, but if you keep getting the same experience, it's not great. But if you gather information, you apply that to different situations. You want to see and taste. You want to taste a lot of situation. Oftentimes we feel stuck because we don't have that knowledge or that motivation, inspiration, aspiration to see what would happen. We're afraid to step in and be in the water. It's awfully scary because when you step in the water, you don't know what's going to happen. You expect certain things and you're like, oh my God. But human beings has the ability to, when we taste, we learn, we taste, we learn. Which one we don't like, what we like, we taste. And oftentimes, uh, if you want to kill the regret, you want to destroy the regret, you must try the thing that you never done before so you can taste it to see what happened. And you might like the outcome, you might not, but you must be able to destroy the regret. A lot of people have regrets. You don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be. Just know that this is your life and that's it. What you're gonna do with it, how you're gonna serve the world, and how you're gonna help the world is up to you. I'm my video is about helping people, serving people, because well, it's not just that. I just like to interview people because their stories are fascinating. Sometimes when I interview people, I don't want to talk about myself. Um, Usually in videos, of course, I talk about myself because there's no one to talk to, unless I talk to a ghost. Hey, ghost, check your channel and say, hey, Bruce Lee ghost Bruce Lee, But mainly, that's why every time I feel uncomfortable of talking about myself or my knowledge, because I want to hear their story. I think that people have very interesting story to tell, and that it can help you grow and it help you see like new perspective, new ideas uh, that you never thought you'd hear before, and you'd be like, oh shit, that's pretty interesting. That's so cool. The one thing that Asian culture should be able to be eclectic, to be open-minded. So many of us are close-minded to the point that it's killing our culture. Well, it's not killing our culture, but it's killing the millennials, the young people. And what we don't see is that, oh, you have to marry this certain type of people because you're Asian. You have to marry Vietnamese because you're Vietnamese, or you're Indian. But you don't have to. You have a choice. You don't have to. You're not. Most people think that you're binded by some predestined, ordained, whatever, but you're not. You have a choice. You have a brain, and you're making decision yes and no, binary. Your decision is binary. So what you gonna? It's up to you to make that path. And yes, people get they. I think that people have too much expectations. That's why I learned through my journey that you should expect good things to happen, but you shouldn't expect have high expectations with people. That will make you depressed, and it's quite interesting. When you don't expect, you release that expectation, and so you don't have disappointments and you don't have a lot of stress and stuff like that. But it's quite the journey, right? We're all here to learn something, to evolve. If you don't evolve, what's the point of life? What's the point of life if we need meaning in our life? You know, it's I think I'm ranting too much, but you get the idea. I think Michelle Yeoh is an interesting person per se. She had beauty, but she's dangerous with martial arts, man. She had beauty and she's dangerous. God damn. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe. Bye bye.